And joining me now to talk more about today's announcement is the Attorney General, Eric Schneiderman. Attorney General, thank you very much for your time.
Glad to be here, Liz. Thank you.
So what is the timeline for relief that New York homeowners can expect, and exactly how much can they expect to see in terms of direct cash assistance and then in terms of reduction on whatever they might owe on their homes?
Well, statewide in New York, we think there are about 345,000 or so mortgages, 1 in 10 mortgages that are at risk of foreclosure. We're going to try and keep as many of those people in their homes as possible, and this is going to happen in several stages. The first thing we're going to be able to roll out is additional funding for legal services and housing counseling. We've obtained $136 million in hard cash for New York so that we can fund those programs. We have really pretty good laws and a lot of very smart judges around the state to help protect people, to make sure that banks aren't improperly foreclosing on anyone. But if you have to go it alone, if you don't have a lawyer, it's very tough. So that money we're going to be moving out first. And then banks have an affirmative obligation under this settlement to reach out to people who are underwater, whose homes are worth less than the mortgages that they owe, and at least attempt to renegotiate the deal. Some people will get principal reduction. Some people may be able to get a lower interest rate. And that's all going to be rolled out over the course of the next 6 to 9 months.
And so is it true then that you actually held out? I mean, we expected actually to hear from you sooner, right? We had reports that there was this imminent deal, and then you were holding out for the right to continue with this lawsuit that you filed recently against the electronic registry, or robo-signing as it's known, MERS.
Well, the MERS litigation is a part of the claims that we preserved. My point from the beginning of these negotiations with my colleagues in the federal government and other AGs is that you don't release claims that haven't been investigated. The conduct that brought down the American economy and wiped out $7.4 trillion in home equity over the last 5 years has to be investigated. People have to be held accountable, and there has to be relief commensurate with the harm done. So the main issue for me always was I want meaningful principal reduction. I want the money for legal services and other benefits, but I'm not willing to give up the claims for the securities fraud, tax fraud, possible criminal conduct that actually brought down the economy. And in the course of the last few months, the releases, the immunity given to the bank, have been narrowed to the point that I'm confident the joint working group that I'm co-chairing to investigate the conduct that actually blew up the economy can go forward unimpeded and really dig into the worst of the misconduct.
What's the likelihood that more than 5 big banks sign on? Because my understanding is the more that sign on, the larger the settlement is. It's possible up to as much as $45 billion. And we're already seeing Bank of America is actually trading higher. I mean, it's actually good for banks, ostensibly, to get out from underneath this cloud.
That's a very important point. The key to reviving the American economy, in my view, the key to getting homeowners back on their feet is that we have to have meaningful principal reduction. The banks have to write down some of these loans. They're just loans that people can't pay off. And in any business, if you have a debt that's probably not going to be paid, the prudent thing to do as a business person is to write it down. It is better for the banks to have some principal reduction. They may take a short-term loss, but it's a loss it's going to be worse if they have to foreclose on all these people and they have empty properties that they're managing. So I do think that in the long run, this is better for the banks, better for the economy, and certainly better for American homeowners. Principal reduction in this settlement and in any deal we make for this on the securities fraud and other larger issues we're now investigating has got to be at the heart of any deal.
And when might we just quickly see the first of these settlements from the investigation that you are now spearheading, your particular investigations?
The joint working group was just announced in the State of the Union address, so we've only been organizing ourselves for a week or two. You've already seen subpoenas go out from the Justice Department, our MERS complaint be filed. Some other states have filed additional cases. The SEC, it was revealed today, has sent out what are called Wells notices, which is their way of notifying financial institutions that they're investigating them. So the working group, I spent all day Tuesday at a meeting at a conference of the attendees in Washington. Tremendous enthusiasm. The people from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the agency Elizabeth Warren set up, the IRS, the FBI, all working together along with state AGs. This is going to be a comprehensive investigation where we have the jurisdiction, we have the resources, and I'm very, very confident after the last week of meetings that we have the will to pursue that misconduct.
Well, Mr. Attorney General, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Liz.